Good day, everybody. I'm King Ryuma, and today we're going to be looking at a video of me playing Arthas on Tomb of the Spider Queen with one of my friends Sapphire Bolt as Nova. Let me just...
Silence.
Okay, so in this game, we're just going to generally take a look at some of the things I do well and some of the things that I can improve on, and we'll see where it goes. So the first trait I pick up is Frozen Presence, Howling Blast cooldown reduced. I think that reduces it by 3 seconds. Yeah, so that's a 9-second cooldown on that ability. Yep, so we're just going to be following me going into lane. My friend Sapphire Bolt, he's playing Nova. He's pretty good at Nova. I think right now we're just going to dance around a bit since we're not in a position to try and fight them at level 1. I actually didn't know this, but it locks you in the animation for a long time after you dance. So let's get on Arthas again. Okay, so for a while we're just going to be laning, but you're going to see some of the cool things that Arthas can pull off. So his abilities are his Q, either deals a small amount of damage to an enemy, 94 damage to an enemy, or you can cast it on yourself to heal you for quite a little bit more. Which, this ability specifically lets you 1v1 people quite nicely and lets you stay in lane a little bit longer than most other warriors. Maybe not as much as Mirrodin, but it still helps. So our W ability is a root. It sends out an icy blast that if an enemy is caught in it, they're rooted for 1.5 seconds. You're going to see me using it here in a second. Yep, right there. Tassadar using his invulnerability and his thing to get out, but we still got some good damage on him. The enemy team has an enemy Nova as a Nova as well. You can say I almost missed that. I lived there because I used my Q on myself, so that's the usefulness of that. I'm going to be going back here. I already used the mana pool though. My E is Frozen Tempest. It really doesn't, it honestly doesn't do anything. It's quite useless, but it's just a little bit more ticking damage, and if you're able to keep people in the duration, it can slow them up to 30%. So it has its uses, but they're just not very apparent, and they're not game-changing enough, in my opinion. And then we have a choice of 2 ultimates, which I'll go over when we get there. So it looks like we're just laning a bit. There's 0 kills on both sides, which is quite interesting because since there's Novas on the teams, so usually by now you'd see at least 1 death on either team from a misplay or a missed opportunity, but not quite yet. The team has a little bit more gems than we do, but it isn't that it's not that bad. You see there that even in the little area outside of the circle, it can still hit sometimes. And I get out once again because of my Q. And then I go and get the fountain. So, as you can see, he can stay in lane for quite a while with that. Oh, and then his trait lets him stay in lane a little bit longer as well. So you activate Frostmourne to do a little icy blast like that on your target to deal a little bit extra damage. And it also restores 30 mana. And along with that, the second trait that we got is Destruction. It increases the damage boost from Frostmourne from 100% to 150%. So we're going to be able to get some pretty good burst damage and trades on Tassadar and Nova. Throughout this entire game, I wanted to make sure... Oh, here comes Kerosene for a gank. And then once again, me using that to stop Nova a little bit. Oh, I almost died here. So, it's still going pretty well. We have 1 kill on our side. I'm actually not sure who that was on. That was on Illidan against Kerosene. So, we're doing pretty well right now. We're still pretty even in experience, though, so it doesn't really matter that much. Let's see. We're doing well in all lanes. It seems like Karazim is having a little bit of trouble with Nazeebo. Nazeebo right now I think is in a really good position with either of his level 1 traits, because he has either really good sustain with the one that just, when he kills stuff, pretty much tops him off at full, or the other one that makes him pretty tanky and powerful late game. So right here we're going to be grouping up mid. Very much nothing happens. I think we kill Sylvanas here. No, we end up not killing Sylvanas, but we're turning in gems and we all get away cleanly. I root Karazim there. I didn't want him to jump to me and then maybe Illidan for the kill. Yeah, and then it looks like we're just going back to laning. From here, it looks like I should be getting, yeah, Frost Strike. This will make my trait also slow them so I can land an easier W. And Tassadar easily gets away because of his invis and immunity. Oh, and we are able to summon the Web Weavers. The Web Weavers push out the lane quite well. They deal quite heavy damage to both minions and forts, and they summon these little guys, like ads, that deal a good little bit of damage to heroes. They also spawn wherever the minion waves are met. So they'll travel down the lane from the Nexus, and they'll travel all the way down until they meet a set of minions. Looks like we're doing pretty well. We are a little bit lower on experience, but since we have them pushed out of the lane, we'll be able to catch up quite easily. Let me go back on Arthas, just let the camera do its own thing for a little bit. For the most part, the teams are pretty even. We have a pretty similar team comp as well, both Karazim, Sylvanas, and a Nova on each team. The only two differences are the Tassadar and Nazeebo and the Arthas and Sylvanas. And you can see right here how useful the W is to lock down a single target, or multiple targets really if you can hit it. Which is why, as the first trait, you normally want to pick up the -3 seconds, because into the mid and early game, being able to use it that much more often can guarantee you kills. Oh, Nova almost going down here. And 3 targets, saving myself and probably Nova from the Sylvanas. Let's see what's going on here. Looks like we're gonna kill Karazim. Nice pickup. Honestly, right here, one of the things I probably could have done better is go back when I needed to and not be as risky, but I knew since I have Death Coil and I can heal myself and gain back the mana from my trait, I probably could have, I can more safely stay in lane than some other heroes. Right here, I'm getting picked off. That being said, I'm tanky, but Nova can still pick me off quite easily if I'm at this low of health, and using my Death Coil to try and stay in lane a little bit longer, so I can... At this point of the game, my thought process was they're going to hit level 10 before us, so I want to soak and try and get a good fight with the whole team. The wave on that. And it looks like Nova here is going to go down, I think. Yeah, she ends up going down because of Tassadar. And, well, and really because of the wall here that wasn't broken down yet. She probably could have walked away and maybe gotten away. Yeah, the summon spiders, they do pretty hefty damage to forts. I think this entire T1 fort is gonna go down here. Then the ultimate I picked up is I pick up Summon Syndragosa. She deals 300 to you, like stomp your sword into the ground, and then you send Syndragosa into a line, and she slows enemies in the area and slows them for 20 seconds. Or slows them for 2 seconds, and then structures and minions that are caught in it are disabled for 10 and 20 respectfully. We're doing pretty well. We got pushed out pretty hard because of the Spider Queen, or the Spider summons, but they ended soon, so we'll be able to push back out. Now right here, once again, you can really see just the damage a well-placed W can have on someone. It's not quite a stun, but the root, since it's a root and a skill shot, it lasts for a long time. 1.5 seconds is a long time for a root. Right now, her Nova's nuke isn't going to do very much to me, at least, since I have quite a big health pool, 3,240. Actually, let's just there. You can actually hit Novas and like Zeratools when they're in invis. If they take damage, they'll uncloak, and you can actually see them a little bit when they're go invisible because they'll have like this rip, like right there. You can see it, this little ripple effect. Oh, and I think right here I'm going to use my ultimate. And this right here, really pay attention to how much synergy you can have with AoE team comps. Getting big ultimates on people, picking up a kill, probably picking up 2 kills here. And then we're able to push in pretty easily on the turret with a Sylvanas and an Arthas disabling the structures. So we'll be able to pick up a lot of this for at least the walls and the turrets. Zivo and Nova trying to be kind of cheeky here, trying to pick one of us off. It only hits Karazim though. She didn't place that very well. I think she should have placed it like in and around here, so we walked into it. And Nova's going down. I try and BM her with just keeping on the Frozen Tempest, but it doesn't really happen. So the next trait that I'm going to be picking up is Trail of Frost. So normally, Howling Blast would only deal would only root in that little area, but picking up Trail of Frost, the trail leading up to it and the circle are gonna root people now. So it makes it a little bit more reliable. I think right here we're just gonna turn in, like right when it's available to, and we're gonna get a head start on getting the spiders. It looks like here, Sylvanas kind of wastes her ultimate. She should have waited, she should have just died instead of wasting her ultimate, because now they won't have it for the next team fight. Well, they won't have it for the next team fight, and their team is going to suffer for it. Let's take a look at the stats. My siege damage is 18, a little bit higher than Nova's, but my hero damage is a little bit less than Nova's, and I think we're going to pick up Karazim here. No. Actually, I think here he ends up getting away. Yeah, I think he ends up getting away. And I just go back to heal. Oh, yeah, so... And I've got 17,000 damage taken, which is good because Arthas is pretty tanky. He's not like me right here. This is a really good ultimate on killing 4 of them almost instantly with Arthas, Sylvanas, Nova combo. That's really strong. And then you can see, while that was happening, both me and my friend Sapphire Bolt were yelling and screaming because that was a really cool wombo combo we pulled off. So I think from here we're just going to push it out and wrecked and wreck. Yeah, I think from here we're just going to push it out and generally just kind of dance around for a little bit. We might, I think we end up pushing into their turret. After I've turned one down, but... Oh, let's see some of the action going on mid. I think... Is Karazim going to No, I don't think so. Yeah, he ends up using 7-sided strike to dodge my Frozen Presence. Howling Blast. And once again, Sylvanas just kind of whiffing her ultimate on not potential kills, and then we pick up Nazeebo because of Illidan's On the Hunt ability. No notification test is hero name. That's kind of weird. I never noticed that in the recording. That here's the Storm uses. So right here, I'm trying to get picks on people because that's really what sets Arthas apart from a lot of other heroes. Is that his CC, not knowing how to spell, his CC is on really low cooldown, so you want to constantly be trying to pick people off and finding alleyways to catch people. Here I use my ultimate again. Only catching 2 of them, but the slow is enough, and then the root to catch 2 of them. Ooh. I think Nova ends up missing like all of the targets, but we end up picking up at least 3 of them, I think. There are 2 of them. Yeah, we're kind of dancing around. Still soaking experience so that we can get to level 20 for it. Really, after level 20 and level 20 trait, soaking experience isn't that important, especially in this mid-game. You want to soak the experience, but especially with the team comp we have, we want it to stick together to make use of our ultimates. gonna be pushing into this turret. The Web Weaver's pushing out all the lanes. They're focusing down the one at mid, but we're gonna be able to get a lot of damage out on the top fort.
Very good.
And then from here, what I'm thinking is we're just kind of parade pushing in. Nova wasting her ultimate. The enemy, I'm nowhere near perfect. Obviously, like there's stuff I can improve on, but it seems like the team wasn't very coordinated with their ultimates, especially with the team comp they had. They could have set up a zombie wall, a nuke, a Sylvanas silence, and a Kharazim 7-sided strike to really nuke us, all of us down. Illidan picking off another hero. It's so weird. Yeah, and then we're just gonna be generally sticking around here. Oh, Kharazim using his ultimate to save me, which is quite noble of him. Kharazim wasting his ultimate. They're just kind of throwing out ultimates whenever they like can, which is probably gonna be why they end up losing this game. So the next trait I get, the level 18 trait that I got, or 16? 16 trait, right? Yeah, the level 16 trait that I get is my Frostmourne, my innate, the empowered auto attacks, apply on my next 2 auto attacks. So you'll see here, if I'm able to hit someone, my auto attack with the empowered hits on my trait deal 500 damage each at this point in the game. So you'll see. I didn't want to overextend here. You'll see here we're kind of... Oh. As you can see, I hit 2 of them. Oh, and then Illidan kind of going in a little bit too deep, but it doesn't really matter with Illidan. He can auto attack to lower the cooldown, so it doesn't really matter. Here I'm making kind of a big mistake by going back here. They probably could have picked me off if they were a little bit faster. All in all, oh, and then here's Nova kind of dancing around, being stuck for a little bit. So for now, I think we're just gonna start parade pushing mid, try and pick off this fort here so that we can more easily turn in the gems. Right now they have a little bit more gems than us, but we've summoned it 2 more times than we have, and then me once again not knowing how to spell or being a little bit too rushed and not spelling it correctly. Me sitting back here making sure that we don't get ganked. While all clumped up, because once again, if they were to really coordinate their ultimates, I think they have better ultimates than us if they were to really lock us down. And once again, Sylvanas just kind of using her ultimate, not very good on her part, especially because we have a and catching Sylvanas off guard. Nice. Me going after Tassadar real quick. This, I think, in my opinion, was kind of a bad move on my part. Tassadar's shield is gonna help him stay alive a lot longer. Illidan rushing in to kill him, but I probably should have been on Nazeebo more so than on Tassadar, because Nazeebo deals way more damage, and we're gonna have to chase him off to not kill Illidan. And I think I end up going down here because of it. Yeah, I end up going down here. In all, that fight definitely could have gone a lot better. But it was a 3-for-4 trade, and we're able to turn in more gems than they do. So it was worth it, but it could have been better. And because of that, they're able to turn in for Web Weaver, so we're going to have to deal with that. Especially this late into the game when we're already level 20. We should have been pressing our advantage a little bit harder, because this game definitely goes on for a long time. And especially with such long death timers, we should have played a little bit more cautiously, I feel like. The Sylvanas is going to get away, even if she, yeah, she's going to use her. Didn't even use it. Illidan here, kind of. One other thing that really helps me is when I'm playing a warrior-type character like this, I generally want to stay by the team. Because right here, if they would have had, they have all 4 people here, so Illidan probably would have died if it wasn't for Kharazim, and I think he does end up going down here. No, Kharazim ends up absolutely saving Illidan. Me using my ultimate here, which, getting a pretty good ultimate on all of them, which is really good. Me undoubtedly chasing the wrong Nova. So our level 20 trait, there's a lot of options you can go for here. The Army of the Dead isn't very good. You normally don't want to pick that up. It's just kind of useless. But our level 20, we have a lot of options here. We can go for Sindragosa flies twice as far, and also enemy heroes are rooted and then slowed, which is the one I ended up picking up. But Hardened Shield is also another good one, and so is Rewind. Hardened Shield gives you 75% damage reduction, so if I was afraid of being picked off by Nova or just taking too much damage within a team fight, I probably would have chosen that one. Or Rewind to get maybe a double root or a double heal on myself. That would have been alright. But I ended up going with Sindragosa roots because of how much synergy we have with rooting them in the long line. Having Sylvanas, and I almost go down here because of the clone. Sylvanas shoot her Wailing Arrow, and then Nova following up with a big nuke. And Nova, actually, she ends up picking up, Nova ends up picking up Precision Strike can hold up to 2 charges, so the nuke she can nuke twice, pretty much. Which is really good. Let me just go back on Arthas real quick. There we go. So from here, yeah, we're gonna group up for game. I say we're gonna group up for game, but this game is gonna drag on for another 10 minutes because of certain mistakes and bad fights we choose to pick. So, right here, I have my ultimate, so if we wanted to, we can really push hard into this. I try and maybe pick off one of them. Once again, Sylvanas, enemy Sylvanas using her ultimate to do nothing really. Since we have a Charism, that little bit of poke damage she gets with it isn't really going to matter because he can just healing wave us. Just kind of pushing in here. Oh, see, and you see the semblance of Nazeebo trying to pick off one of us, but because we have so much AoE and we have our we have a lot of escapes. Illidan can just jump over the zombies. Sylvanas can get out of it, and Arthas' Tempest. That's the one thing the Frozen Tempest can do, is it will kill the zombies around him pretty quickly, so he can escape from Nazeebo. And oh, I'm using my ultimate here. We're going in on him. Nova using her ultimate on that. I think she ends up hitting 2 of them. I end up going down here. I guess Charism's ultimate was on cooldown, or maybe he's saving it for maybe a heavy damage dealer. Oh, and Charism making a mistake going a little bit too hard. The real Nova is down here, and we see that, so I think we might punish her for that. Yeah, Illidan tries to go in really hard. Nova using her other charge on her ultimate to try and break up the team, killing the Nazeebo Gargantuan. And I think from here we're just gonna dance around for a bit and then go home, maybe get the Bruiser camp. Sylvanas in this game is really helpful for picking up the Bruiser camp, since they won't do damage to us when they have the blighted arrow on them, or the black arrow on them. Tassadar just kind of really mistakenly, he's gonna be able to get out because he's Tassadar. And then here, let's go for my thinking here is that when I get up, since I'm getting, my last ultimate wasn't as good as it could have been. I'm thinking if they try and contest us for boss, that this little area right here will be perfect for a Sindragosa Nova combo, just to freeze them in place and then get the nuke on them, and then the Wailing Arrow and all this, and then Illidan just kind of jump all over the place. But they don't end up contesting us, they just kind of stay back. I'm thinking because they don't want to get picked off, and they know that their team fight is weaker than ours because they don't have the coordination. Yeah, right now, later into the game, it's doing, my trait, the double hit, is doing 590 damage per hit. And you see here, I know that I'm not a very big source of damage, so I'm sitting here making sure that we don't get caught off guard by their team, but they don't ever end up showing up. We see Nova kind of scouting around here with her clone. The enemy Nova scouting around with her clone, but that's about it. Especially on this game. I personally like this map a lot because it's not as swingy. Getting the gems isn't as swingy, especially because of how much you need between each. But the boss on this level is really strong. And oh, we're going in here. I think Karazim ends up. No, Karazim doesn't end up going down. He uses the 7-sided strike to get out. Oh, I use my ultimate to freeze up the turret so we can push in a little bit easier, so it's not attacking our minions or anything like that. We don't end up taking down the fort, I don't think, or maybe the boss. No, the boss ends up taking down the fort. Sylvanas using her ultimate here to maybe try and pick off Karazim, but he gets away. So, in all, the boss really didn't do that much damage. We pushed into an entire T2 fort, but it definitely could have been better. I felt like the ultimate I used here, I used it way far back in here. My thinking was that we'll freeze all the buildings so that the boss has an easier time pushing in, but I should have waited for there to be enemies there so that, especially with it flying twice as far, having a really large range, I could have hit both the enemy team and the fort. Just kind of trading blows here. Karazim healing us up for a good little bit. Yeah, we just kind of dancing around here. I try and just poke in with my W, but they kind of go in a little bit too far, and I get a nice ultimate on them. I think I end up going down here. Oh, no, I don't. Karazim ends up saving me, but I think we end up trading a little bit too much in this fight, which is part of the reason why this game goes on a little bit too long. We end up going 2 for 1, but it could have went 2 for 0 if my positioning was a little bit better. Or, no, we do end up losing Illidan. Yeah, we end up losing Illidan, which is unfortunate. He pushed in a little bit too hard, and he loses a lot of gems for us. Nova picks him up again. 27 gems. Oh, and I think we see, yep, right here we see Nova pick off the enemy Nova, which is a good pickup for us. We're just kind of, Nova here, it really needs to turn in her gems so we can get a head start on the Spider Queen. I think right here, Tassadar could have easily come in, dropped a Psystorm on her, and then kind of danced around a little bit, but he was probably playing safe because he thought maybe we had a little bit more CC, or that Sylvanas would go in on him. No, I think they end up getting Siege Camp. Oh, you see Nova picking off the fort. He just kind of runs up, hits it once with the Q, and then gets out. See me respawning here pretty quick, and then, so for the most part, in 10 seconds, both teams are going to be back up. So we're going to see here in a little bit, just really one of the things that we're struggling with is ending the game, especially since we don't have a large source of continuous damage. You know, we have Illidan, but this late into the game, I think he's more of an assassin-style hero, so he's really just going to help us pick off one person. Oh, and we end up losing a Sylvanas here, but we end up getting a pretty good surround on him here. I end up missing my ultimate on almost all of them, and then here, you can see that I'm learning from my mistake. I pick off Sylvanas, but on this end of the team fight, it's not going well. Maybe I should have healed a little bit harder for the rest of my team, because I end up going down, and I think one other person might go down here. No. So in that fight specifically, we were down Sylvanas, and they had their full team there. So we probably shouldn't have went in, but we did end up picking up their Sylvanas, so it's not that bad. But yeah, we probably should have, when we were here, we probably should have backed off, wrapped around, and came in front of them so that we could have a more even fight and not this kind of janky fighting them from behind type of thing we were trying to go for. Just kind of following around. I'm gonna spawn right here apparently. And they end up getting a lot of bruiser camps. Honestly, like this right here, it doesn't really do anything because we have a Sylvanas, we have the Nova to kind of pick off the bruisers and stuff like this. So they probably could have done that when they were actually pushing, but I think they just didn't want us to have it. And you can see, okay, so a big mistake here that the enemy team makes is that they're not grouped. Especially with the team comp we have, with our picking potential, they really end up staying, Nova, or Tassadar and Nazeebo really end up staying too long. They ended up having a Nova with them, but it won't really matter. Sylvanas ends up getting away. But you see here, Nazebo died, and Tassadar died, and I think we might end up picking up the, yeah, we end up picking up the Nova as well. She wastes her ultimate trying to kill Karazim, but she probably could have got him if she auto-attacked him once, but she ends up wasting her ultimate, killing nobody with it, and at this point we can clean up the spiders and then push in for game. Especially with 3 down, I think we're going to end up winning right when they all respawn. Karazim in here just sort of kicking and flailing about as he does. I come up here to clean up this Spider Queen. You see here, we're kind of staying as a team. Even when they're mid, the goal is to kind of move up with the team and then to push into one lane or move down and push into one lane. We're not splitting apart very much, which is good because since the enemy team has a Nova and we have a lot of squishies between Karazim, Illidan, and Sylvanas, and I guess Nova if the other Nova can see it, we'll be easily picked off by the enemy Nova. So we stick together, we get the boss here, and then once again, I'm staying around here because my damage isn't the greatest on the boss at least. I stay here so that just in case the enemy team decides to show up, we have vision and we can set up a good team ultimate, or like a big wombo combo here. Oh, and then right here, it's important, especially on this map, when you get the Spider Queen and the spiders spawn, all of the camps and the boss, they despawn so that you can't get the spiders and then get camps as they're pushing up. What you can do though is you can, like we did here, we got boss and then we got the Spider Queen so that we have the Jackal pushing in and we'll also eventually have the spiders, so that we'll have a pretty good push. And then I think right here we end up pushing for game. I get a pretty good Syndragosa ultimate on them and a double Rue, and we just demolish them. We really pick them off. We end up picking off 2 of them, but they're pretty low at this point. Tassadar kind of buffing with us. He really shouldn't have done that. I think he would have been better just kind of trying to support his team, like maybe back here. But yeah, I think Sylvanas ends up going down. Oh no, we end up winning. So yeah, I think in all, the point to get across here is that Arthas, he really relies on his team when you pick up Syndragosa. And especially getting those good team fights, you really need to pay attention to where the enemy team is and where your team is. There were a couple times in that game where I think my positioning could have been a lot better, but in all, I think I did. I was pleased with my play, and I was also pleased with how our team was functioning. So that's it, and I'll see you guys later.